Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Not Too Comic Book. This being a show where I talk about TV shows that are adaptations of comic books. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the season 2 premiere of The Sandman. Great season premiere. A lot of really interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. So the opening lines of this episode is really interesting because I think it really plays into the theme of the episode and maybe what's going to be the theme of the season. I should also note, I've avoided the trailer. I scanned the trailer just for like a thumbnail for a video, but other than that, I've not watched the trailer, so I have no idea what to expect. I've never read the comics, so I have no idea where this journey continues after the events of season 1. But either way, we have that line from Dream where he talks about how dreams are all unique, but they all have one thing in common, and that is they constantly change. And I think it's a parallel about how Dream himself is constantly changing. Even though he's been stuck his way for so long, the journey of season 1 and aspects of this episode really contend with the fact is that he is changing. Because even, Melvin's talking about it later on with Lucian of like, well, if he's going to build a new palace, what was I sprucing up the old palace for? But it's like, yeah, like the dreaming is being reborn, and obviously it's taken a little while piecing everything together, getting back all that he lost while also kind of making it something new. But then he gets a call from dear brother Destiny, and all the siblings, save for one, have all gathered, including Despair, Death, Delirium, and Desire. I love that Death came up in her regular robe, her attire, and then kind of had to change, but it still wasn't fully fitting the mold of the occasion, especially when Desire shows up. Just kind of has it. I mean, Mason's got a booty on them. Like, I was like, hey, yo. I couldn't help but notice that. I was like, wow, you've kind of got a nice butt, Mason. So, I like, obviously, like, Despair's intro. Well, I mean, we've met Despair before. Most recently, we even saw Despair in the sadly now canceled Dead Boy Detectives. Along with Death, she made a small appearance as well. But either way, that was kind of sad, and it just, I mean, that encapsulates. I love how each of them, like, first and foremost, it's so sick the ethereal, like, godlike being things that go on in this series, and I think it's so neat, the etherealness of it. Like, first and foremost, them coming out of the paintings, each one doing their own thing, except Delirium. I thought Delirium, she was gonna, like, literally, like, the painting is melting and, like, it comes off as colors on the floor. I thought she was gonna rise from the, like the ink on the ground, but it's like, no, she still comes out the painting. But I'm like, you had to come out the most flashy way. Hell, even Desire didn't come out that flashy. Outfit wise did, but like Exit did not come out as flashy. But I love like the Delirium thing where like she's looking through like that mirror, like that horror show of a like place she has, and she's looking at the guy, and it's like, oh yeah, like this guy's wife found some very nasty, very, very nasty stuff, and she's reporting it to the police, and he's sitting there wondering, does he have it in him to run? And just that line from Despair saying, he doesn't. And then it's like, okay, yeah, let's celebrate. All of us are reunited for the first time, save for our eldest, who says, I'm done, I'm walking away, don't look for me. And I did love that line from Delirium where it's like, it is that thing that sometimes when people say, hey, don't look for me, it's secretly a call for, hey, look for me, because it's your way to actually show that you care. It's like, has anyone actually tried looking for our sibling? And no one said anything, which I thought was like, oh, that is sad. It's like, this is a choice that they made and we want to respect it, but it's still like, no, I missed him. And even Despair's like, yeah, I think about him from time to time. Despair looks, and Desire looks, and Despair's like, no, I mean, sometimes I think about her brother. Because it's so very rare that the siblings get together. It's like, even Destiny says, like, yeah, it's been centuries since we last gathered. And I think this episode also brings up probably something extremely important, too. That is like, when's the last time we gathered and had a real honest conversation? I think is kind of the point. Because Destiny's gathered them all because the Sisters of Fate made a declaration to them. But it's like, as usual, it is ambiguous. But the moment you're bringing up a king's going to leave their kingdom, where you're like, well, it sounds like Dream. Like, the fact is no one immediately said anything, but it was there, but it's like, well, even if you think you know what it is, there's layers upon layers that, yes, some things may seem obvious, but it is so vaguely ambiguous that you're just like, it is open up to interpretation. So, but when it's all said and done, Destiny's like, I'm leaving things as is. it becomes a conversation of we as siblings should sit down and talk. It's like us gathered here is the thing that you wanted us to do. It's like, right, we need to talk. Basically, certain things need to be said, need to have. I can't lead the conversation. I have to naturally let things play out. That is my role as Destiny, where I know what is written. I know what is to come. My path is set before me too. And so what is to come is to come, but you still have to take that road. It becomes, and it's that really like heady concept too, and really, really personified here of, at the end of the day, is free will a thing when you put in conjunction with predestination? Is a thing where the road and the path ahead of you has already been written, it's already been paved, but at the end of the day, you still have to make the choice. And even if you don't know the choice has already been, that you will make this choice, it is still your choice. So it's almost like they both exist, but it's almost like you've always kind of been under the impression like, how can both coexist? Free will and predetermination. Like, how can those two exist when it's like this kind of shows them both existing? It's just really interesting, and it's really, 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 really heady concept when you really break it down. It's still like they seem like such diametrically opposite to each other. But I guess it's like it's meant to be this almost oxymoron-esque relationship that free will and predetermination have, and it's really interesting. But either way, the siblings get into it a little bit, especially Desire, because Desire loves to poke the bear and brings up the nada of it all, and just dreams like, hey, yo, like, say one more word. And it's like, siblings, let's calm down. Because it's like, like and Desire's like, hey, look at our brother, like, damn the one, like, oh, you get on me about interfering with mortals, but look at you, Dream, you fell in love with one, and one didn't reciprocate what you wanted, and what did you do? You banished them to hell they've been there, ooh, look at it, 10,000 years, brother, that was on you. It's like, do you realize how kind of jacked up that is? And so he walks away when Destiny tells him to calm down, and Death follows him and is like, Desire was right. It's like, you really are condemning me, sister. It's like, yeah, you did something effed up. And I'm like, I love you, but I'm going to call you out on your bullshit. And the fact is that this has never come up in the 10,000 years Nada's been locked up. Must mean, like I said, it feels like this is the first honest conversations that they've had in forever. Because Dream is very set in his ways of what he believes. It's kind of like, who are you to question me? Once again, last season, a lot of growth. When you have lived as long as the Endless have, it makes sense that you kind of are very stuck in your ways, and you don't have complete objectivity. It's not always the easiest way to kind of step out and see a different perspective when you've kind of been what you are, and you view the existence the way you do, and your role in it makes you very steadfast in your beliefs and steadfast in who you are, because you're like, this is who I am, this is the stipulations for it, anything outside blah 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 blah, everything else outside of that blah 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 blah. It's very vague, and it doesn't matter. I've defined who I am, and I'm not willing to nudge or grow. But like I said, the last season's journey did make him grow, and he is continuing to grow to the point he's willing to hear his sister out when she's just like, all right, shut up and listen to me. Because we hear his story about Nada. It's like, he always found her fascinating. Like, this is the woman who dreamed of her people, and then when she woke up, she made those dreams a reality of building a kingdom without poverty, without politics. And he admired that so much that he was drawn to her. So they meet, and she's dreamed of meeting this person because she hasn't gotten married, and people gossip about it. And she's like, I am waiting for that person who I could see the love in their eyes. And there's another aspect of it, but it's like, oh, there's no man that fits that description. And she's like, there is, in my dreams. And lo and behold, there is dear Morpheus waiting for her. And they have this conversation. You can tell immediately both are smitten with each other. But, after their conversation, because I love the conversation of, oh, like, she's like, you're not one of my subjects. He's like, how do you know? You know all your subjects? She's like, yes. Like, if I'm to rule my people, I must know them all. And it's like, I know many rulers who have not. It's like, you've met many monarchs? It's like, well, I've heard stories of them. And I thought that was so interesting of like, there's kind of like the truth, and there's the speculation, and then there's the storytellers. And it's just kind of like, I love that little like tit for tat back and forth conversation that they had. And when Dream left, she continued pursuing him. She had people out searching, like, where is this guy? Find him, and no one could. Even in her dreams, came searching to the point she came to the king of dreams, and it's like, I need you to find this person that I love. I think I love this person. And then Dream reveals himself and is like, I think he loves you too. And she's like, it's you, the king of dreams. It's like, you came to me. And she's like, but this shouldn't be. A mortal should never meddle with the endless, because it will never end well for you, for me, my people, my kingdom. But for Dream, it's like, I love you and I'm willing to give this a shot. Now, if you do not feel the same way, he's like, be my wife. If you do not feel the same way, I will leave and I will never bother you again. And she, they get together. Now, the question is, we don't know how much time passed in between them being together. Was it just that night? Did everything cosmically come together to end the way it did tragically? Or was it some time meeting continuously in her dreams or whatever and having this, very, celestial affair of sorts? But essentially, what appears to be maybe a meteorite came crashing down and destroyed her kingdom, killing everyone. And she's the only one that survived, because I think she was off with Dream. She was swept up in this romance, and that's what happened. So that's why I feel like it probably wasn't immediately. It probably was some time afterwards, but who knows how quick the cosmos will kind of correct something of such magnitude and scale of, a mortal mingling and having an affair, or rather a relationship with one of the endless. But for her, it's like, this is the price I paid for that choice. And for her, it's like, I'm going to walk away from you no matter how much it hurts. You need to forget about me. And it's like, I'm kind of choosing my people over you, because I deserve to suffer for whatever comes may be. I must bear responsibility for this. And he's like, you're choosing to basically live in suffering, but you could be with me and we could just stay. You could rule by my side. But for her, her loyalty has always been and continues to be for her people. So it's like, I must reflect and punish myself for what may come and whatever I must deal with. And it's like, for him, it's a situation of, no, I didn't condemn her to hell. She condemned herself. She made her choice. But Death's like, yeah, but you gave her an ultimatum. It was either be with you or go to hell. What choice was that, brother? Do you not realize how messed up that is? He's like, do you think I'm wrong? And she's like, in this case, I do. I get it. You love Nada, but she also loved her people. And it's like, think about what you went through. Roderick Burgess locked you up for 100 years and what you kind of had to suffer through because of that. Now imagine that tenfold, actually 100-fold, because Nada went through that for 10,000 years and what you put her through. You punished her for loving her people. It's kind of like, how can you punish someone for their duties? And you, who yourself would do the same exact thing in her shoes. So how would you punish her for something you would do yourself? And he recognizes the error of his ways. And I think that's the point that is so interesting, that it's like, in this one moment, something that's been there for 10,000 years, he'd never been able to step outside of himself to see, what I did was effed up. And that's what I think is so interesting, because I think, like I said earlier, I believe this is probably the most honest conversation they've ever had, because maybe Death felt like, my brother's in a position, he's changed enough, he might be willing to listen to this conversation, whereas he's been so steadfast in his belief that you could never tell Dream before now. Now Dream's a little bit, not a lot, a little bit more malleable and open to hearing this. So Dream's like, all right, I'm gonna go to hell and free Nada. It's like, no. That's not what I meant. I meant for you to self-reflect and learn from this, because she made the whole point of, there are just some mistakes you can't fix. And boy, oh boy, is that true how it is. But for him, it's like, then would you ask me not to at least try? I have the power and I have the opportunity. I should take it and see this through and try to make things right, because I owe it. If I learning from my mistakes is one thing, and that's good, but trying to put forth the effort to correct a mistake I made is very important too. And so Death goes back and it's like, yeah, our brother had to leave. And Desire's like, oh, just kind of left. It's like, you don't get to have it both ways. You don't get to chastise our brother and then be sad that he left. And Desire's like, yeah, I can. I just loved it, But then we look and goes back to the conversation I had earlier about choice and predetermination, because Destiny is like, Dream has gone to hell. He's known ahead of time where the story was going, but once again, Dream had to make the choice. I sit back and I let things play out as I let the conversation take the choices that it makes. Let our siblings have the conversations they have, because this is where it begins. This is what sets off the dominoes of what is to come. So goes back to his kingdom, lets everyone know what he's up to do. It's like he's telling Lucien that she's going to be in charge while he's away, but Matthew's like, yo, no, let me go with you. It's like, no, I have to do this. And even Lucien's like, do you really? Like, send someone else in your place. But he's like, no, like, what kind of king would I be if I'm not willing to try to make right the mistakes I made? And Melvin's like every other king, you literally would be like every other king. But it's like, no, I need to be better. I need to do better. I need to lead by example of correcting my mistake. And it's like, yeah, that's all wonderful and all, but are you going to abandon the dreaming again? Granted, first time around, you didn't have much of a choice. That was kind of, you were ripped away from it. But in this regard, it is a situation of, you're kind of making an active choice right now. And so for him, it's like, but in case I am not able to come back, I will not leave the dreaming in the same state I did beforehand, leaving it kind of unguarded to deteriorate the way it did. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to make preparations. And I think it speaks volumes that the two places he decides to go, one is to go see the baby. Makes sense. This baby's significant. It is born of your realm. It is a part of it and always will be. But then the question is, like, what did you do in that moment? You know, it's like, was it Hippolyta was like, what? No, like, you saw the baby, now go. It's like, he's like, okay, good night, and moves on. But I'm like, did you leave something with the baby? Like, maybe, like, I feel like where he stops off, it's kind of almost like maybe the inverse of him getting back his items. You know, the jewel, the helm, his sand. I think it's almost the inverse, where I think he was dropping off pieces of himself, the dreaming, something he's leaving with everyone. These two, like the baby and, you know, them, as well as going to see good old Hob. But it's like, makes sense. It's your only friend, might be your only friend, you know, that you've ever really had. You've had your ups and downs, but you are friends. And it's like, he's like, whoa, a computer, the queen, you here. Hob's like, oh, I must be dreaming. It's like, yeah, you are. Because I thought it was weird. I was like, oh, the computer's messed up, but it seems like you're in some like old attire and stuff. There's a queen. I'm like, this ain't making sense. It's, oh, because it's a dream. And it's like, yeah, I came to see you. Came to drop off this bottle. And it's like, oh my God, there's probably none of those in the world. It's probably not. But here in the dream, there's a few bottles. And it's like, why are you doing this? It's like, because I might miss our next meeting. And it's like, I just want to let you know ahead of time. I just want you to know that, you know, I might be away for a while. But he's like, yeah, but you'll eventually pop back in eventually. And it's like, yeah, he will try to at least, because he doesn't know what the future holds. So what he does is, it's like, yeah, he shares that bottle with Hob, and Hob kind of does this toast. Very on topic, even though he doesn't know what Dream is up to, about like, to those we've lost, lost loves, and even saying like, you know, oh God, I forgot the exact line, but it was something about the devil himself. It's just kind of like basically make the devil rule or something. Like, I'm butchering and I can't remember the exact wording, but even Dream was looking at him like, what? And Hob was like, yeah, that's so weird. You know, dreams, you kind of savor stuff. And he's like, yeah, indeed. It's like, yeah, it's funny that you would say the exact things that are permanent. It's like, yeah, it almost feels like the dreams are speaking to Dream in a way, and just kind of like, you're hearing what you needed to hear in this moment from the person you needed to hear it from. And so it's like, right, let's say our goodbyes. So it's like, come on, can't you stay and enjoy the bottle with me? It's like, the bottle is yours. And he wakes up, you know, with his SO, and it's like, oh, Bobby, you were dreaming. He's like, yeah, just a dream. And he opens his eyes and he sees the bottle nearby. It's like, oh, that's bringing it into the real world in that capacity. So it's like, yeah, probably found one in the dreaming, brought it to the real world. Or it could be like, make the argument, maybe he did find one out there in the real world, but it most likely brought it from the dreaming in the dream world. But yeah, at the same time, his dear messenger is poor Kane, sent to in front of Mazikeen, got a blade to his throat, and dear Morning Star herself showing up and being like, all right. And I love that he's like, oh yeah, like from Morpheus to our, you know, our dear sweet cousin named Morning. It's like, skip the message and get to the content. It's like, Dream is coming whether you want him to or not, whether he has your permission or not. He's coming for Nada. And she's like, really? She's like, okay. And so makes a point to send him back. It's like, let Dream know we're waiting for him. We eagerly await his arrival. It's like you are walking into a death trap. It is not just Lucifer. It is not just Mazikeen. There's an army of millions waiting for you. And especially because Lucifer's not too happy of like, yeah, last time you came here, you embarrassed me. And I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to make you rue today. So, but for Dream, it's like, this is what must be done. I've left preparations. This is what I must do. And even he's like, I should and could turn back in this moment. I know there's a part of me telling me I can and should, but he knows, like, you know, whether or not he makes it back or not, this is a choice that he's made, and he's going to see it through. And he's like, here I am in hell, but even he admits, I'm scared, because he knows this could go sideways. This may be the end of him, and you know what that means in the grand scheme of things. Well, we'll just have to continue the season to see where all of this ends up taking us going forward into the next episode. But really, that's all I wanted to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.